20 metres of each other. The race hasn't started, but the manoeuvring has started. Everyone's trying to get an advantage and trying to get in front. So in grey boats we have
New Forest
Pirates against Rhode Island Pistols in dark blue. Well, I'll take the Pirates and you take the Pistols.
Johnson in his visor, number 7. 30 seconds to go. It looks like all the boats are a little bit early on the early side of the start. That gives the advantage a little bit to perhaps a boat like number 11 around that's coming in just behind him with a swoop to lure of gray 8. And gray 7 is also a little bit of bother, although I'm not sure blue 12 is going to be able to get to that line, but we'll see. That's an aggressive tack there by New Forest Pirate. Oh! Yes, fantastic start. Is 9 over? 9 is over. 9's coming back. I don't know what that says. It was a fantastic quick tack start. And off the line, it looks like a 1-3.
Pistols, maybe a 1-2.
Go Pistols!
Racing through here, the wind's still fairly heavy. You can see the Pistol boat just coming down to slow down the Pirates.
Ooh, a little bit of tacking duel right there on the right-hand side between that middle pair, Don Johnson and his visor, number 7. I can't tell what mountain boat that is. Still, perhaps? But both of us have lost too many times to New Forest Pirates.
And you can see some maneuvers there, just trying to...
Don Johnson picks off the row on number 10. Luckily they're on the lay line, so that's below them. But it looks like they've managed to take the New Forest Pirates managed to take, I would say, a slightly disadvantaged start, but it looks like they're around the winning combination. Well, 1-4-5, I'm guessing.
Yeah, interesting that the last boat, the Pirates boat number 9, has just decided some tactics straight away, stop and put the Pistols in 6, but you can see the Pistols maybe holding a 1-2.
Japanese as it can, but that may have been a little premature. And as we round mark 2, what do you reckon? It looks like a 1-2 for the blue set
spin, so it looks like the Pistols, they can do a conversion, maybe slightly tally to a 1-2, but this run, the wind just dropped, gives these guys a chance to get back into it.
Gray boat, they're trying to attack, they have done, they're trying to attack that dark blue 10 and really trying to drag them, and in fact they jumped them. That's a fantastic job, they've just sailed right over the top. They have broken up the Rhode Island Pistols 1-2. That was the only hope for the New Forest Pirates. Luckily, it was a very good hope, and they're right back in this race.
So this was still holding maybe a 1-3-5
on that gray number 8. Nicely done. Nicely done. Question is,
oh, the Pirates just dropped the tiller extension.
Oh! This is anybody's race on this leg. They're on the bottom reach and the final reach as they approach mark 4, and it looks like they might even punch more. That Rhode Island Pistol number 11 desperately trying to luff up Tom Johnson. But out of it, it looks like the Rhode Island Pistols have managed to convert that into a 1-2. Yeah, and as we round mark 4, the dark blue sail for Rhode Island Pistols. Round with a fairly solid 1-2. Let's see who start executing their cover scheme just to keep that gray third boat in 3rd place. In fact, they have 1-2-4. Front 2 red boats, Hillary Highlanders waiting for those back 2 yellow boats to try to attack them and break the red boats into the winning combination. And here we go. Can they slow down? Their first job is to push that yellow 17 back so they can get their furthest red boat back, the one that's still nothing in R2, up to them. But they have a lot of work to do. I would expect to see them start to drive on the starboard to attack that yellow 17. For their purposes, the yellow 16 is irrelevant. What they need to do is sail down the race course. And just quickly, the finish of that hard-fought race between the gray boats of New Forest Pirates and the blue boats of the Rhode Island Pistols, it did indeed go to the Rhode Island Pistols. That was a great race. Rhode Island Pistols moved. That front yellow boat 16 is sitting there. But it looks like that Hillary Howler red boat, oh, they're all rounding. Have a nice little lull in the wind. It's down to somewhere in the teens at this point. At its high, we saw over 30 knots. And now we have a little more wind. And it looks from my eye that they are, and that would be a solid 1-2 victory for Will Fort. 6 wins and Bristol is on 6 wins also. So again, this is another top of the table clash. Both of these teams are very much in it for the quarterfinals, but the winner of this will put themselves up to 7 and with the top leaders.
Yeah.
How are you, buddy?
Get through the wind.
I'm shaking. I'm shaking.
Yeah, I didn't know what's up and down there.
Good job. Good job. That's actually my first in November.
Oh, yeah. He has a lot of crews being made at the moment.
Are you on or off right now? No. Off, you guys do it. You guys do it. Yep. In blue, have managed to poke out. We thought they had a pretty good start. It doesn't look like they're quite close enough to really get a grab of them. So I would guess that both of those two yellows in blue will manage to get to Mark 3 unscathed, but not quite over quite yet.
And then 20 seconds to go, denoted by the two boots there in front of the grandstand there, in black boots, is your very own West Kirby. Both of these are on 6 wins. The winner would get to 7 and move into a tie for first place with 4 other boats. So a very important race early on.
It looks like boat number 2 skippered by Tom Everett. Many. And it starts the second spin. That's not going to help their chances, but luckily one of their teammates in both Bristol, the Yale versus Bristol race, it looks like Yale has managed to hold on to 1-2. In fact, if anything, they probably extended it a little bit. At this point, it's all about that.
Yeah, the pink boats, West Kirby, look as if they're holding maybe a 2-3, something like the West Kirby boats. And get round, certainly look as if they'll hold a 2-3, and something like they can get 2-3-4 or 2-3-5.
Yeah, how close
Spinnaker out front with
it looks like the Bristol boat is basically to a 1-2 for the yellow sails of Rutland Raiders.
And back in the local derby, Manchester versus Liverpool, you can see the wind really is
Leading away, and they're not even filling my sail. That is a wonderful.
the last picture we had come through at Hilby was 35 knots, so that really is the speed that you ride down the front, maybe a little bit more. So, really, they keep them upright. They're trying to race them, carry out manoeuvres and slow someone else down. So it shows the skill of these sailors is really superb. So coming in front of us is Morgan in the break.
It looks like Spinnaker did manage to hold on to that win over local favorites West Kirby. Sailing against the Rutland Raiders in the yellow boats. The Rutland Raiders stand on 4 wins. The West Kirby Wildcats stand on, excuse me for 1 second, 6 wins. So there is a good group of teams emerging on 7 wins after this round. The West Kirby Wildcats would like to join them by beating the Rutland Raiders. And Rutland needs this win just to hook up into the top half of the table.
Seems to be some action at the top mark there in the previous race, which is Morgan in the grey against Sheffield Steel in the blue. There's 4 boats that are all stopped, but the 2 that are broken through are dark blue for Sheffield Steel, so they take on 1-2. And they're a good win for them.
Jetty. The teammate's been on the jetty for quite some time.
Now, although the wind is at this level, it's obviously fair for everybody, everybody's in the same room. But it does mean that the same old teams come to the top, so it's the end of the big racing,
We've got a boat over on that leg. I don't know if that boat is racing or not. You can just see the crew of skipper jumping into the center board. Let's see what's up. That looks like the Malden College.
and Sheffield then moved to a 1-2-3, and Malden both on taking that as 3 and 3 is capsized, and in 7 there, so it's had a little swim, and just off the start line here with the Rutland Raiders. Maybe a 1-2-4. Go to that mark there. Let's just go down. Yeah, looks like a 1-2 for that's good. So maybe a 1-2-5 and hold that last.
Yeah, that third place red boat's going to manage to force that yellow key out. They're going to have a nice 1-2-4, maybe 1-2-3 here. And with these 2 red boats, they're blasting.
He's not getting stuck just in front of the grandstand here.
we see the multicolored sail out again, Jim. That means that the cracked shore crew is repairing whatever fleet that came out. It looks like it came out of the blue.
That would be a blue boat. In the orange we have a Hope Yacht Club, and in the blue boat we have Wessex Exempt.
There's a bit of a raft up here just on the port side of the line. 21 and 24 seem to be hooked into each other. And they're both on the last beat of the course. We still have the West Kirby team braking. While we have this break, let's just remind competitors, please be on the jetty when your boats come in. Look at the rotation. We're banging into each other, so please be waiting through.
For any lunch, the competitors and all the helpers take their lunch as we go through. But for anyone in the vicinity of lunches, you've got to do with the lunch.
Certainly would be worse thing, that's sure. We have plenty of good coffee though.
Yeah, we have good coffee on the internet. What are we doing again? Oh, we're blogging on the internet. Winston Kirby
Sail from Western Exempt. It's really all down to them to break up this teammate. Yes, he will. It looks like the two orange boats, both the Yacht Club there, will manage to go 1-2. And they do. It's true they're quite a bit less one, but I still think the orange boats have a solid 1-4-5.
Looks like a 1-4-5. We've got orange boats, which is Hope Yacht Club. There are 4 wings. That would take them to 5 wings, which would be very nice in the middle of the table. And just coming down to the top on the 3 degree mark, you can see the dark blue boat in the first place is from Atlantic Partners. It looks like they have a 1-3 combination, maybe a 1-3-5. There's another one they can break at that second, and they're happy to collision there. I'd say the first boat after the spin. 27, the one with the blue sails at the front. And now this is Oxford and Cambridge with the all white sails.
And this is starting away. Question is, can. But, with that. 27 is definitely in there. The question is, can they get to 30? No.
Still close though, so the white boats, Oxford and Cambridge have got first, but they do have last boat, so. Boat number 30 is first place, Oxford and Cambridge fourth boat, just stopping to slow down to try and stop.
What we thought was a fairly comfortable win for the orange boats and Hope Yacht Club. It's turning into quite a bit less comfortable right now. For the final beat, it looks like they've broken into the 1-2, and that red, or that blue boat is just flapping its jib. It's basically slowing down that middle orange boat. Actually, that big right back.
Atlantic Partners holding a 2-3-5. It looks like there's been a
fierce fight at the back of that race between the back white and the back blue boats. That's pretty much the lead right now. Whoever one of those two boats comes out ahead will give their team a winning combination.
And you can see the white boat number 29 is just, is he waiting or is the problem? He's waiting to try and stop the Atlantic Partners to put them into 6. So.
And his teammates just motion for him to get going, which I'm not sure was the right move because he's definitely still in 6.
And the Atlantic Partners there just creating a gap there, making the last boat number 28, making it 6. So Atlantic Partners trying to move through to a 2-3-4. It looks like the Atlantic Partners is calling for an infringement there, but you can't see no decision from the umpire. Yeah, he's tapping around, so it looks like Atlantic Partners moved through to a 1-3-4, is that something?
Sure. Your guess is as good as mine. They're making this a little bit more difficult than it perhaps needs to be. We're seeing quite a bit of strong port lifts here, aren't we? Especially in that last beat. For the angle of that middle white boat.
And on the start line, it's interesting to say a good start here for the white boats. Really, they're rocketing along. In black, we have Royal Thames red versus Cambridge in white. Looks like one of the black boats has had a great start, but the 3 whites all
black boat right now. It's consistently been a header on starboard, so as they tack over, there's nice port. That black boat, as you mentioned, was firmly in first place. But you're right. Looks like they can tack. No, they don't think they can. Now they're just slowing down. White 4 is firmly in control of black 2 there. So as we round.
1-3 to black, no white so far. Good stopping there by the whites. He's managed to maybe get his teammates into a 2-3-4 here for whites, if you can still hold him up there.
There might be a little bit. 4 is going to just go right behind him. That looks like a 2-3, 4-4-5. This is called a 2-3-5.
Yeah, black versus the white boats.
Wirral Thames. Of course, it looks like the Southampton men's male voice choir, I believe. and the yellow boats has sailed away to a fairly convincing 1-2.
That would take them onto 6 wins, which is one off. I wouldn't like to call it, to be honest, Colin.
Well, I think
the Cambridge had come through to a 2-3-4 in this white race. So whether or not they can hold this down to the bottom line, certainly this race is a go-win.
holding a very, very comfortable 2-3-4.
I'm just saying, you've got to thinking. Doing pretty well today. They are on 3 wins versus Oxford, who we've been rooting for them.
I'm not sure much of a secret, but yes, we're overtly more secret. Yeah.
So we're still waiting for them to get their first win, and we're pretty excited about that. So that'll be coming soon. Wilson George versus Yacht Club. We're on the River Dee versus the Hilbury Highlanders, and I can see all the good matches coming up for us. So we like those. We're looking forward to that one greatly. And I think on the far side of the course, she said, "You know who I am?" I said, "Yeah, you're good." You know who I am? I'm the commentator.
Hi, Chris. Val.
So, right now, just pre-start, we've got a pretty fierce pre-start battle going here between Weymouth and Port.
Dark blue is Durham and grey is Southampton. Looks like Durham have a 1. And I got leaves his teammates from Durham. The other two went to the big. See how that goes at the beast. Training Association versus Christopher Arquette in yellow. Hard to tell. I get the Pistols will be selling Bristol. Hide the Bears, who have been the leader the entire day, will be selling West. So, hide behind the wall here, away from the wind. Competitors in the gap come down and watch the racing.
Or have a coffee.
Come and have a coffee. The small coffee is behind us. The lifeboat is Cambridge. Home, Edinburgh, Southampton, Manchester University on 3 wins. Really good view. 10 seconds to go.
That furthest right, Royal St. George boat in 20. He's done a nice job just completely taking the multicolored sail out of the equation and making sure. This is the beginning of our top of the table clashes. Royal Forth wants to win this and be the first team to get to 9 wins.
An advantage from the start there. We've certainly got Brent going out on the starboard side of the course.
We'll see in a couple seconds. Oh, he's going down to the pin, so he's giving up the hope of getting in second right now. He's just trying to pin that furthest left white boat, Kitchener boat, from tacking.
I mean, there seems to be some very early tactics here. But we look like we've got first place, so we have to make sure we're not in 6th. So the Royal Forth here showing their cards early with grabbing first place and then just.
Well, the question is, once you get that middle white boat, that is going to definitely not a stable a winning combination for the Royal Forth, as perhaps one could have thought, and perhaps one of his teammates thought. They're going to round the Royal Forth for winning combination of 1-4-5, but not a stable winning combination. So immediately, 27, that last place Royal Forth boat is going to try to slow the last place 30 boat of Kitchener, and just
so windy that places can change so quickly. So we have a 1-4-5 for the dark blue Royal Forth Cougars, who are currently on 8 wins. And Kitchener are still trying to fight back. They are on 7 wins until all arrive at lunch. Hooray! We are very happy. So you can see the action there at mark 2. It's 2 white boats have got through. So it's still 1-4-5 for Royal Forth Cougars. That is interesting to say. Kitchener with a bit of a 6 there and 2-3-6. So it's whether or not that last boat 27 pushes the 6th boat up.
That's happening behind them. Here we go. The 2 white boats of Kitchener are starting to go into attack mode on the 4th and 5th place blue boats of Royal Forth Yacht Club, allowing that 6th place Kitchener boat to really sneak right up. In fact, they might get an inside overlap. Nope, not quite yet.
It looks like Royal Forth there is just going to try and push back and push that Kitchener boat back, keep him in 6th. But you can see that the Kitchener boat's doing a good job here, compressing the race, giving their guy a chance in 6th to get close. But now Royal Forth, now they're getting organised. Now they're pushing the last boat back. So Royal Forth are holding on 1-4-5, but they kind of let Kitchener off the hook. They're still in this race.
Okay, 29 has 27 hooked. In fact, just forced 27 attack away. That's going to put 27 into last place. So that's going to shake everything up here. Royal Forth has gone from a 1-4-5 to a 1-4-6.
And I think really a bit of a mistake there from from World 4th. They let him off the hook. They should have really put Itchner to the sword there. They give him a chance, and Itchner there, they have a 2-3-5, still really close. One position change changes this race.
And their first place, about 25, really is quite a ways ahead of the rest of this pack. I'm not sure how useful they're managing to be from up there. I would expect them to sort of creep back towards, so when time comes to lend a hand, they can be in a position to lend a hand, but right now they are actually rounding. So that is the first World 4th boat, a ways ahead in first. Let's see what the combination is around Mark 4.
Well, I think if you're a Royal 4th in the second and third boats, you'd be going mad. Your teammates in first, but they're not helping it. They have got a real fight on their hands. Itchner doing a great job here. Royal 4th now.
Oh, and will that Itchner boat be inside? I can't see. That last place 30, he's definitely inside, but he's not going to get in front. Oh, he's not going to get in front of that Royal 4th boat. So he's still at a 145, but it's not a strong 145. And those white boats have the ability to attack the two blue boats.
I think the Itchner boat there is going on the inside of the Royal 4th. It's whether or not he can stay there. You'd think the other Royal 4th boat would come and help his teammate. This 145 is really tight. I would be screaming at the first place boat. Come back and help.
And can that inside Itchner boat 30 stay pinning that far dark blue boat? Two attacking duel going on between 5 and 6 right now.
Give Itchner maybe a 2-3-5 at the moment. It's really close. It's whether or not the Itchner boat can get back without the Royal 4th and who's coming down. The Itchner boat needs to pin.
Well, those top two Itchner boats are doubling up on the third place World 4th boats. You can see one flapping their jib and the one just in front of them. They're going to try to get that boat to tap.
Now Royal 4th comes down to try and pin the last Itchner boat. So it's still really tight here. It's whether or not the Royal 4th boat can come down and hold that last Itchner. It looks like he's got him now. His teammates have let their Royal 4th do it.
It does. Yeah, that's too bad. I think that is going to be a case of they're not on the lane line and he's getting pinned.
So it looks like Royal 4th here will get a bit. The Itchner boat there, it looks as if they've sneaked into first place maybe.
Oh, they have. That is going to change everything up. And actually that furthest, that sixth place Itchner boat has managed to get back out on the Royal 4th boat. So again, it looks like a 1-3 perhaps for Itchner or a 1-4 something. We can't tell.
It's hard to tell me. It's whether or not the Royal 4th got it first, in which case they'd have a 1-4-5.
Okay, and on the bottom reach on leg 4, we currently have the yellow and pink, which of course isn't pink, it's black and white. That is the yellow of the New Forest Pirates sailing away to what looks like a comfortable win so far over Yale Drinking Yacht Club from Brantford, Connecticut. I didn't see much of this. We were sort of caught up in that really exciting Royal 4th race, but it looks like a fairly comfortable lead around Mark 4. That's a 1, that's a 2, with not much threat behind them from Yale and the pink and black sails. Rhode Island Pistols in black 1, 2, and 3 against Bristol 1 in 4, 5, and 6. Rhode Island Pistols sit on 6 wins, and Bristol 1 also sits on 6 wins. The winner, both these teams need to win this race to stay in that top group of 8. Early days, certainly not fatal if they lose, but it's going to do them a world of good to win this race. It should be fairly hard fought. How are we looking around Mark 2?
Well, it's something tight. Everyone's stalled and stopped. Black boat there for Rhode Island has first, but it looks like they have first and maybe a 5th or a 6th. The white boat of Bristol doing a good job of holding up, but it looks like one of the white boats is certainly, he hasn't capsized, but he's filled up. That's going to really keep them in 6th. But his teammate was doing a good job of holding the last black boat from Rhode Island back. But I would say here that Rhode Island have gone through, they're probably a 1-2-3, a 1-3-4 at the moment.
It looks like the white boat is in fairly good attack position.
It looks as if black, they got one, maybe 1-3. Make sure that Paddington don't slip away too far.
And across the race course, New Forest Pirates have indeed won their race. That puts them up to 8 wins and tied for the lead. But again, Paddington Bears also 8 wins just about to start. They can be the first team to go to watch. We don't know if Royal 4th has already gone to 9.
Well, Royal 4th, we can advise win that race with it. Yeah.
Okay, they're the early leaders, and let's see if Paddington Bears sailing just up to start right now can actually join them. They're in the gray boats. One of their gray number 9 is actually going to do a spin, and now they're ducking Blue 10, who is West Kirby Sailing Club, our local favorites. Paddington Bear, Gray, has managed to tack 4th, and it looks like they'll get to Mark 1 in first place.
But if you look in the centre of the lake, Colin, one of the West Kirby boats is really doing a great job there on the port lift. It looks like he might make it line.
The one who's sailing straight upwind?
Yeah. So I think Paddington probably won, but it's whether or not maybe a 1-2 or a 1-3.
Yeah, the question, I guess, Jim, is can that furthest left gray boat manage to get ahead of that sort of center of the course West Kirby boat? It looks like they can, but we'll see. Here's the tack. Does he have any shot? Yes, he does. No, he does not. So they managed to get around 1-2 for the Paddington Bears. gap already. I reckon that fifth boat is going to try to take 1 of 3 or 4 out and just try to send
A little bit lighter to making the sailing really good. Paddington Bears in the grey boat holding a 1-2.
And he's going right for...
1-2. And West Kirby in the blue boat. West Kirby will go to second, but it's whether or not now he's going across to try and get the second. So Paddington Bears hold a 1-3, maybe a 1-3-5 at the moment, but this will all be make or break on the third.
And that leading West Kirby boat 12 is setting himself up to take out that middle grey boat. Here we go.
Paddington Bears have come around first. West Kirby stopping on the mark. I think they'll maybe...
No, they can't control their speeds. They have to round. It's too bad. He didn't get a chance to get further.
It looks like the West Kirby Bears got real speed. Might be able to get right round the top. So West Kirby, it's whether it can hold Paddington Bears. There is an arm there for a protest. Looks like the Paddington Bears boat will do a turn. So it is a 1-3 to Paddington, a 2-4-5 to West Kirby.
2-4-5 is a losing combination, so West Kirby still has work to do, but they have that boat number 12 in second place that really is, you expect to see attack that middle number 9, the middle gray boat who's in fourth. But right now he's trying to get first. Don't think that's going to quite work out.
It's maybe playing into Paddington's hands there because it gives a chance for the third boat
To squeeze around the outside.
It's whether or not Paddington can reverse or 1-2.
Okay, as we head upwind for the final beat of this race, between this top of the table clash, it looks like Paddington Bears rounds number 1-3, but certainly local favorites West Kirby are in this with a shout. In fact, they're rounded inside on that. So the question is, can that middle boat number 12, that furthest, the second place boat, the blue sail,
on one of the Paddington boats, tried to go in the rock, but there was no room. There has been a green flag for that instance. So that gives the advantage back to Paddington, who certainly have a 1, maybe a 1-3-5 or a 1-3-4. But that West Kirby boat sailing out number 11, sailing out to the wall, could be a... And that last West Kirby boat doing some spins. Look like they've got some trouble there with the umpires maybe. Comes into interaction. Yeah, it looks like Paddington to maybe even to a 1-3-4, but certainly it looks like a solid win for Paddington, which will keep them at the top of the table, and we move to 9 wins with Wirral 4. The system hasn't updated, but we get live action. They have photographic memories, and we remember these things. So it looks like West Kirby just stopping the Paddington last ditch effort.
Oh!
He's got the 1, but it looks like it'll be a 2-3-4 or 2-3-5. It's better or not to
Yeah, well, right. That boat tack and not foul. And they can, and they have water. And here we go.
So 2-3-4 to Paddington takes them to 9 wins.
They're auspicious in the red against West Kirby Wildcats in the yellow. It looks like there's a lot of action going on in Mark 3, which means this is not a stable race. But it looks like the red boat, Spinnaker Auspicious, is rounded in 1. But it looks like the yellow boats of the West Kirby have a 2-3-4. Oh, blew the jive! No! Nope, their mast didn't hit the water, so they're not disqualified, but it looks like he took out a ton of water on that jive.
And there was a red flag and a protest, but nothing from the umpires yet. So it looks like a 2-3-4 to West Kirby, but Spinnaker was very close. And
hold of that fourth place yellow. In fact, look at that. They are managing to grab that number 16 yellow and force them to sell more anymore.
Now, I'm not sure what's happening first. Second West Kirby, so it looks like a 1-4-5 or a 1-4-6 for Spinnaker at the moment. West Kirby holding a 2-3. No, it looks like Spinnaker's got inside, there's no water there, so good job by the West Kirby to really slow the thing, give their teammates a chance. West Kirby go round in second and third, there's a big gap first and second and way out.
Yeah, the boat control that it takes to execute those moves really is quite skillful. I mean, it's one thing to know what to do, and another thing altogether to be able to do it.
Spinnaker Auspicious doing a good job there in the fifth. They're 2-3. It's whether or not the Spinnaker Auspicious boat sees it and goes back. So the race not won here yet.
No, and again, we've seen a theme a lot that because it's so windy.
That second red boat, Spinnaker, we would automatically give up 4, go back in the top 5 to try and make it a 1-4-5. I mean, at the moment, there's no way he's going to push through those two West Kirby boats, although it looks like he's picking one to win with, whether or not they get. Looks like the West Kirby boats are on the ley line, and the third boat for West Kirby, the yellow one, in the middle on his own, sailing with no dramas at all.
Well, here comes, you wonder where that red boat is that going to reach down from Spinnaker to see if they can get the last minute desperation pin on the fifth place yellow boat. But yellow boat's probably fairly close. That front group is definitely on the ley line, above the ley line. The question is that boat number, the last place yellow boat on there? It looks like they are.
It looks like West Kirby take a 2-3-5. 2-3-5, great win. Couldn't make the start line, just blew them off, and there was one from each team, but it looks as if Islanders maybe with Johnny Cross in about 25 on the left. We'll take a lot of partners with a lot of skill. We'll come back into this one. So Highlanders looking like a 1-4-5 at the moment. They were sailing against each other for many, many years. So everyone knows what moves to expect. It's who can 4-5 at the first leg.
So we just touched that mark, and we've got around.
Highlanders go around in one, but Atlantic Partners just slowing down. They're going to try and hold that. They're just trying to compress the race to bring the last boat in.
Nice job so far. Just trying to close that gap between the two blue boats and their sixth place teammate.
What do you do, Colin?
Right now, boat 25 being pretty much half leg ahead of all the action. So the first thing I do if I'm Hillbury is 25 stops. Waits for boats to catch up to it so it can be an effective one.
I mean, you can see there that it was the 3 against 2 because the Atlantic Partners, looks like Hillbury nearly gave that up, but their last Hillbury boat's doing a great job of holding the 6th Atlantic Partners up. But I think really they're just taking all the way to the wall and create a gap here. And then the pressure, I guess, is on the 27 who is
spinning.
They're doing something friendly, they're all waiting. So there's a bit of a... But I think Atlantic Partners are certainly going to try and throw a few moves at the bottom of this leg, trying to bring the bottom and slowing the race down. They're doing a good job here, Atlantic. They're slowing the race down.
And here comes on starboard 28, picking off, yes, forced the jibe, look at that, and still lured. All right, so they're double teaming. Their job number 1 is to slow 27 back up to the last blue boat. They've done that. So now job number 2 is tap them both. The Highlander boat cannot use Mark 3 because they've already routed it.
Yeah, the first boat there, Islanders, way out in front. We've seen this a lot this morning though today. It's maybe it's the wind, maybe it's the fear that they'll lose it.
Okay, so here's the attack, staying inside the zone. Nicely done. Again, our review is not official, but it looks to us like they're inside the zone. And around the outside, here comes 30.
2, 3, 4. This is going to be a great one. It's whether or not the West Kirby boat.
Here comes the emergency, I want water. And there's going to be a flag raised here, no question about it.
27 doing a spin as well, so it looks like it's a 1-3 to West Kirby at the moment, but it depends on the umpire's view. It's a 1-3 to West Kirby, and this is what we said, the first boat is still nearly at the end of this reach. This is where the Hillbury Highlanders need the help of the number 1 boat. It's a 1-3-6 to Highlanders, but the third boat, the Highlanders, he's on his own, there's 3 boats all around him, so he's got a lot of trouble on. The Atlantic Partners have got plenty of time here to do a manoeuvre on this mark, or just hook him up. And
he's hooked. He's hooked to weather. He's hooked to weather. The question is that that weather boat is getting around him. Okay, they're back. They're at least in a 2-3-5.
It's whether or not there's water as well for the Highlanders. Remember that blue boat for the Highlanders had a lot of pressure, a lot of trouble. It's whether he might be having work. So it's still a 1-3 for Highlanders, but it's whether or not it's all stopping at the bottom more. Whether or not he can.
Okay, and now that third place Highlander boat, the one in the third, so the one that has to stay in third, is getting us to lured and behind 30. So that white 30 from Atlantic Partners really has quite good control down to the furthest right Atlantic Partner boat. I don't think you can.
No, I don't think you can.
And all the while they're getting bad air flying that boat on this final beat.
I could see this coming through to a 2-3-4. I think the race, as you say, at the last Atlantic Partners, can he get across? If he can get across, it'll be 2-3-4 to Atlantic Partners. If he can't get across, it'll be a 1-4-5. But he looks like he's going to sneak out.
He sure does. He's going to go for the tack. Well, he's going to run into some bad air here from the race on the run. Going for the tack, not making it. No way making it. No way making that. That is a little, maybe just a little early panic. We can't really tell from here. Definitely didn't make it.
So Highlanders holding on 1. It looks like the first boat who really hasn't been in the race will take first, but it's a 1. Interesting. Was there a spin there by the Atlantic Partners boat, or did he just tap around? Because we know we'd be calling that for an umpire decision. But this could be back to Atlantic Partners. Highlanders has come to the left-hand side of the course, is on starboard, has to get back on port.
They have a 1-3 though.
So looks like it.
Yeah, either 1-2 or 1-3. So that would be one of those ones where the guy in first says,
What anchor have you got? You got on the little thing or the big thing? Oh.
Hello, we've got messages by the... What? We're coming after Williams Mill. Should we come to Clonbox?
No.
Yes. Well, the yacht's still there.
How do you refresh this page?
Look at that.
Maps. Look at it's all working. Yeah. Well, maybe that was.
Maybe I'll link to the outside wall speaker.
Raiders is Steve Tyler, so.
That is tight, isn't it? That's okay, what he's doing while holding that. Because that'll get 2, 3, 4, like Mike's moving. He's going to get hooked up, isn't he?
Which colour's which?
Red one and grey. It's great, isn't it? You can see it from here. 10 seconds earlier than everywhere else. Try it. That one's good. I haven't seen it in about an hour. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, then you can say. You know we call fire before. Always riding. So it's updating. It's yep, we know they're on islands. Oh, okay. Well, that's all on that cross, isn't it there?
Yeah, I think.
9, 12.
I don't know why he didn't write technically.
But even if 9 has to duck, you might get him coming back. Oh, call for starboard. Oh, gee, that was that's tight, isn't it? One straight.
Yeah, Blue got it. Well, Grey, I don't know what happened to Grey. They had a 2-3-4 at the leeward mark. At this point, it looks like yep, they're going to make up there. They think they're on the way line. So it's not going to be a runaway quite yet for
The weather update really. In my view, when the quarter government are standing in start shaking, it gets too windy, and when we can do team racing. So difficult decisions for the race committee, but I think we all hope the wind will just abate and drop a little bit. Well, that's what we're waiting to do. You can slow 1 down, maybe 2, but can you slow 3 down?
And that's a big gap between the last place yellow and 4th place and the 2 boats behind it. But even with that big distance, you just if one of these boats catch on a plane and somebody else doesn't, they can close that gap quickly.
Either in the white boats take a 1-2.
Actually get hold of that red boat.
So the first 4 are flicked back. It's looks like a 1-3 at the moment.
2 yellow cover boats.
I think the wind's changed it because it looks like it's on this nearest to work, so it's not into first, and it's now a warm. A big lift on the port next to it. It's probably over the air can catch the issue. It looks like
That red has a 2-3-5.
2-3-5, I say to you. Close, good, very good racing.
If we're right, and that does put Yale, if Yale does get that win, that puts them to 8 wins, which would put them 1 off the year, we believe.
Well, I don't know races, but it comes to
And on the race course right now, just rounding mark 3, we have the orange boats of Malden College against the light blue boats of Durham. It looks to us like, Bristol has a 1, let's call it 1.
Dark blue is Southampton, and it's about 2 in white, so it's like actually we're not too sure we will make them up, but so it's whether they get redress, but that certainly looks like it would give Bristol a bit of an advantage. And I'm not even what made of the courses on those, I think still need to judge. It looks as if Southampton have come through to a
2-3-5?
2-3-5. But I guess they really want to get that fifth boat through and give him some clear wind. But that should be a chance to do a hook there. So
yeah, 26 has got 29 hook, but they both are trying to.
Looks like they're getting 2 through 4, but it's whether or not they can... Yeah, actually really probably. And they're doing a good job there. There's a chance that that last step up and they get through into first, and then a second, and...
Okay, so as we're around mark 4, we have Bristol, Barclay, and White in 1, 4, 6. Nicely done by the dark blue boats of Southampton, holding the 2-3-5.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing here.
Well, it's not going to be as big a difficulty upwind, because he's going to be cranking on the name sheet nonetheless.
That just needs strength. But Bristol is still a chance of having one. Just if they get to a 1-3, then you can... Really easy. 40 knots is a force 8, which is just crazy. So we're just gesticulating with the computer here and wanting the rounds to update. So as soon as we do, we'll give you the latest results. But on the course in front of us, black versus white versus Wilson George Rockford versus Liverpool, which is a real trick this morning, you may say. Yeah, good job by Liverpool. We'll take a 1-2-3.
On the far side of the course, in the final leg, on the final V, it looks like
jump on them. I think this is looking as if this might turn out to be a winning for the final.
number 4, the furthest left gray boat in Sheffield Seal. I'm not sure he's going to do much with it. Eventually he'll be able to drive to starboard, which he just did. Oxford in Blue 12 has managed to get a hold of that last place, the 4th place gray boat and made himself quite a bit of extra distance. So that puts their teammate into 4. So it looks like we have a 1-4-6 for the blue boats Oxford.
Remember that, and I think they're going through the wind, so it's whether or not both of the 8 has a great impact on 2-3-4 legs, so trying to hold them up, they're happy hook.
Oh, we released him. And Sheffield boat's going to stay on starboard here for Oxford against the 2-3-5, the great sails of Sheffield. He's through him yet, he's going a little high from what I can see. He's almost through him. Okay, so this race is coming down to this 3-boat combination here. There's 2 blue boats to the right and middle gray boat between them. That middle gray boat can stay ahead of the furthest right blue boat, gray boat's are going to win. If those 2 blue boats can shove that gray boat out the back, then we got a shot. Oh, it looks like it's the forced attack. That first blue boat, one nearest to us. And now both of those front 2 gray boats for Sheffield are going to go to work on the middle blue line.
Exactly, whether or not they're over the lane line, there's a chance here. It can't Oxford just sail and wouldn't mess around with it. I don't think there's a chance for 1-3, but it must be over the lane line. So it looks like Sheffield can... Oh, 1-3, that we'll wait for that one. We're hopeful that beloved Oxford will screw up a 0, but it's a very good race, very close racing, and right up to the last second. And they get the 5, not the 6. So even if it is 1-4, then it would be 1-4-5. So we're thinking we're very...
And right now, it looks like we've got a fairly tight race between the red and the yellow boats. I believe this is Yale Trinket against Fisher again. So we're seeing a lot of resales. Not resales, but there is we're seeing a lot of...
Form coming out. We've got the top team being Paddington, Royal Form, King Forest Pirates, in orange boats and Bristol 1 in light blue. Looks like Pirates hold first. And third and fifth. So it's a 1-3-5.
You say third?
Good. I meant second. It's like third, but not as good. So New Forest Pirates move to a 1-2, but still very close with the third boat there. Still a lot of racing to do there. Back at Mocking the 4, the yellow versus the red. The DHL boats that look really, really good.
And then again, we're coming down to whether it looks like, I would say Red's done a really nice job right around that mark, converting it to a 2-3 something.
Yeah, doing a good job there in the red boat side.
I think Red Boat did not pull that tack off particularly well. No, that looks like at least, at the very least, yeah, and there's a spin coming back here.
Still holding a 1-2 combination.
It looks like quite a comfortable 1-2 combination of that.
Against Bristol. More races for those guys. It's, yeah, that was a good Yeah, I'm not giving up here, throwing everything. Second boat there, throwing everything at itching it. Itching to take a one, but it's
warning us that this isn't moving. I kind of feel like we think this race is on the course now. Yeah. Feels like something. 85. We think that is Rutland Rangers in white against Edinburgh in the dark blue jibs, the dark blue hulls. And it looks like we have the multicolored in second, so Rutland is rounding in white. They have a 1 to be determined. Looks like a 1, 3, most likely 4.
And the difference here, you can see like the first boat there, waiting to help out, they're trying to convert it into a safe combination. So unlike some of the races we've seen where the gap's been massive, it looks like the rubber race and the white boats are 1, 3, 4, they're trying to change to a 1, 2 or a 1, 2, 3. Now some days I feel very jealous about these sailors, but right now, yeah, it looks like in that
Edinburgh in the blue boats, Rutland in the white, and it looks like they have maintained the 1, 3, 4. The white boats of Rutland.
Edinburgh with a tough job to do here. They've got that one boat's going to try and stop 2 boats on either side of the course, so really you kind of fancy that Rutland will pull this one out, holding it first and Robin last. But the last Edinburgh boat doing a good job there. It's looks like they're trying to get to a 2, 3 something, but it's right about the multi-coloured tail.
A lot looser, it's definitely a lot weaker of a combination than they had rounding Mark 4, that's for sure. It looks like that Rutland boat, let's see as we go for the cross, and they're on starboard.
This could be coming through to a 2, 3, 5 for Edinburgh. They have a 2, 3.
Yeah.
And he's going to spin him out, 2, 3, 4. It's a good move by Edinburgh there. They managed to really grab victory there in the last few yards of the race. So the big bell of Oxford and the yellow tail of Williams and Portland NFA. Each location has a section where all the top teams are done, but we will start like boat number 6 might be Saturday, and we're Dalton here. and Mark. Good job to get back to the starting line, and there's the guy, well done. And then on the far side, of course, the last piece of finish, the white tail, which is for number 2, 28, 29, 30, hold a very solid 1-2 over the dark blue jib Sheffield team. That one takes an opponent to stay between that opponent and the finish line. A lot of other sports defenses get a junior man in the goal. Here. This will be the Newport tires, the black one from Newport tires. Currently sit 8 wings, one behind the leader. There's down Fisher, who is sitting on 7 wings. Newport tires is a reunion of a legendary team, multi-time champions. I think a couple years off, doing extremely well. Top star for the HUD. He just passed. Looks like Owen and Owen on the strong number 2. Might have, he can retain control, but still got white boat. Black will be in this with a shout. It looks like he can. Right now, let's see the race. Yeah, pretty easy in the car. People got a face out to the right hand side. There's nothing left of that. Looks like we made a track that each side is being a 2, 3, 4 or 2, 3, 5 for Harder. real mark, and 2, 3, 4 for Pirates. Both of those in the end of that week, although the balance is very low, you can get any sort of way. But the win quite low like those is, oh, there's a spin on that last cycle. Look at that, that'll mix things up. Tom Johnson and Dead Steel going into a spin. They've been given a penalty by the umpire. That changes the game completely. It's your team having losing 1-5, now having winning 1-4-5. And I think that's the win was low mark.
Let's see.
Just needs a little gift here.
Well, he doesn't think it's going to happen. Yes, he does. We're going to see here the overlap.
Going to jive and try and break the overlap.
Okay.
Pirates through to a 1, but it's a 1-3, and they're straight away they're doing what good teams do, which is do the conversion straight away. It looks like they're going to sail that through to a 1-2, but
No, it looks like we have a 2-3-5. That's, that is 2-3-5 for the White Sails of Itchener. That's certainly a weaker combination than we had. And you can look at the back two black boats of the New Forest
and it
Pirates.
looks like there's definitely been contact there.
Did you see any spins? I see a flag raised. That Itchener boat in the last now is raised a red flag. Let's see if we see a yellow, asking for an umpire's decision. I see another flag raised. We should expect an umpire's decision, a flag from that rightmost umpire boat. It'll either be green or red. Red signifying a penalty, green signifying no infringement.
Currently Pirates holding a 1-4-5, so this decision could decide the race. Nothing as yet from the umpire. Pirates holding 1 and in 5. The fifth boat just trying to slow down and create a gap. Still no decision.
Perhaps we misread it. Didn't see the. I thought I saw yellow, but can't be certain from this far away. Okay, so as we round mark 4 for the last beat for this very important race for both these teams, it looks like Itchener is holding a 2-3-6. A 2-3-6 is a losing combination, so those left two white boats must attack the two black boats behind them. You're seeing a furious attacking wheel go on right now.
And the breeze just building in, so it's been really tough for Itchener to slow them down. You can see the Pirates boat there, number 1 on the far furthest away from us, really trying to put the hammers down, put some speed in. The Pirates can get back, still going to hold the first though. And I think the 5th and 6th boats will come back into the mix now. It's whether or not the Pirates can balance the pairs.
Oh, it's a bit of hunting going on there. Let's see. We'll see if there's a call on that. Tom Johnson and Deb Steele just took that Itchener boat straight out.
And they come back to a 1-3, but it looks as if it's now it could come back to a 1-3-4 for Pirates. But great sailing by both teams here. Pirates just coming with great speed now. They're coming back to a 1-2 maybe. If they're on the lay line, they're going to 1-2. Superb racing.
We're very methodically into a very strong 1-2 or 1-3 something. We'll have to wait for the official score. Let's say that looks like a win for the New Forest Pirates. We can't be sure. First one, and then the second one, and then the third one. So they're really disciplined teams, Jim. Just know what moves they have to do just to say go from a losing to a slightly better losing to a slightly better losing to a weak winning to a strong winning.
And I think we're seeing now that the bottom mark here, you see we have the Paddington Bears in the blue boats versus the West Kirby Wildcats in the grey. Paddington Bears are 2-3 at the moment, but there's a couple of spins going on. It's whether or not number 11 can get inside number 9, who seems to be doing a good job of slowing it up. There's a green flag there. So the Paddington Bears still have a job to do here, because it looks as if the Wildcats are going through to a 1-3 or 1-4-5 at very worst. So Paddington Bear, who are on top of the table at the moment, 10
force them away from the mark. You can see them, both of those boats steering wildly. What that boat's trying to do is just get the lure so they can hook them and then luff them up so they can take them away from the mark. But the gray boat's been nice and defensive. The gray boat is just trying to get around the race course right now in the winning combination. What do we have as we round mark 4? We have gray in first. That is a West Kirby Wildcats in first, and it looks like they hold, I can't tell from here, let's see when they're round. Third.
rule change.
And it's very light right there. There's just not much breeze. And it looks like that blue boat of the Paddington Bears has allowed the third place gray boat to sail free. Now they're going back together.
It looks as if West Kirby have a 1-3-4 at the moment. Maybe it's a chance to convert, but the Paddington Bear 12 boat nearest to us here is away.
He's a free agent, isn't he?
If he gets a nice breeze, he could certainly come back into a 2 or 3. He's just looking for a header here. So West Kirby holding what looks to be a 1-3-4, but it's certainly far from over.
It looks like there's a little bit more of a righty puff on the far side of the course right now. Don't see much with a 1-2, I would guess. Both of those being the two gray boats furthest away from us.
Let's go Wildcats holding certainly first, and they don't look to be in last, but looks like they'll have a 1-2.
Can Blue 10 get to that gray boat? I think you can. The gray boat's on starboard, they're on the ley line. Yeah, job done.
So let's go and take a 1-2 win, which is a great win against Paddington Bears, about 10 wins. That would take let's go the Wildcats on to 9 wins. And Islanders with a bit of work to do here, but two boats very close. Still a chance to do conversion at the bottom more. First Spinnaker boat just approaching mark number 3, the green.
First Helby Islander boat, number 16, and at least give him something to think about, so 16 doesn't have all the time in the world to go out the red boats. And here we go. Here comes yellow 16 attacking those red boats. It looks like they've gotten 18 inside. Okay, so that's upgraded from, they've now got a 2-3-6. Better position than they were in. Still a losing combination. The yellow sails and Hilbury have at least are in this for a shout. Oh, there's a spin by red 14. Okay, did I say 2-3-6? I meant 2-3-5. That puts the yellow boats into a winning combination right now.
Very close, Hilbury Highlanders in yellow versus Spinnaker Auspicious in red on the last leg, second to last leg. Highlanders are racing, they're both on 7 wins. We're taking them to 8 wins, so it looks like Spinnaker holds 1. Highlanders holds 2.
Can they get around the 2-3-4? There's the 2. There's the 3.
There's the 4. So Highlanders with a 2-3-4 at the last leg, but quite a long last leg, and these guys, Spinnaker Auspicious, they're not going to give up and throw the towel in. So you can see some good covering here. These guys proper team racing here. The last yellow boat has been given a chance to not have to do manoeuvres, just go fast. His teammates will cover the other 2. We'll see them come back now. 3 yellow boats from Hilbury. They're just sailing away from us here in the commentary box. Holding the 2-3 ball very close together. They're going to come close together, closer with every attack.
But are they running out of race course? Do they have the space to make this happen?
That boat number 17 from Holby nearest to the commentary box, he's still going to be able to get across that other red boat from Spinnaker. That, I think, is where the race will be won and lost. But it looks as if the Spinnaker boat on the far side has certainly got...
Blue attack! Oh, the jib is not in! That is a problem.
It's either the jib sheet's gone or the crew can't get hold of it. It looks like it's coming in a bit now, but it looks like the boat the Hilbury got across to their 2-3, but it looks like it'd be a 1-4-5-2.
No, does that last yellow boat have, are they going to cross that last red boat? Here's the race right here. Which one of those 2 boats finishes first?
I'd say that's a Hilbury, but I would. Too tight to call. It's in that last position. It's either a...
Jordan really needs this race to stay in the top 8. But right now, they're losing to the orange combination of a 1-3-5-ish, let's call it. That front place blue boat, 24, jogging on the starboard, has really got some work to do. And that orange boat looks like they've managed to duck him. This may convert into a 1-2 for the orange boat. No, actually, the blue boats are around. Look like they've converted this into a 2-3-6. Still a loser, but closer to being a winner.
Go down into which car? So we're fourth, one of the boats there just doing a spin, so that's, but maybe one of the Rhode Island as well, so it looks like it's hard to say, 2-3-5 at the moment.
As we round mark 4, we have 1 for Orange, Royal 4th, 2-3 for Rhode Island, 4 for Royal 4th, and who has the crucial 5 here? Rhode Island Pistols team. So that is a 2-3-5. That is a winning combination for the Blue Sails, not a very stable one.
But it's tricky. You can see how the wind is affecting the boats here, how they slow down in the tanks. So there is a chance to chase down a 3rd and a 4th. So Rhode Island sailing towards us, but this is not a done deal in any shape or form. So Royal 4th holding maybe a 1-4-6 at the moment, but Rhode Island's very, very close here.
And that middle blue boat from Rhode Island did a very nice job preventing the middle orange boat from tacking. Prevented that orange boat from tacking tacking onto the furthest right blue boat. Really nice, a subtle team racing move, but a really important one on this last beat.
Yeah, I think that might be where the race is won and lost, because if he'd been able to tuck over, he could have converted the 5-6 to his own benefit. So it looks like Rhode Island are holding a 2-3-4, 2-3-5, but those boats on the far side look as if they've got a nice lift. That boat number 22.
Yeah, they can't give it a win.
I think that Rhode Island's just taken a spin there. He tried to tack across on the port, but so it looks as if that will give World Fourth a 1-4-5
at the very least. Again, we can't really tell perfectly from here, but we think that's a win for the Orange Sails of World Fourth, which would move them to the first team onto 11 wins.
That was a great race. They changed.
On the race course, we're approaching Mach 3, the race 197 in the White Sails of Royal Thames versus the Dark Blue Jib of West Kirby. What's the combination looking like there, Jim?
Looks like a 2-3-4 to West Kirby at the moment. But I can only see two of the white boats, so I'm a little confused.
Have we lost one? Two capsized.
One on the jetty?
There's one on the jetty. Never a good sign. Okay, we just had the start between the pink sails of Yale Corinthian Yacht Club against the yellow sails of Royal D. As you mentioned, Royal D is in on 8 wins. Yale Corinthian is 1 win behind with 7. One of the Yale Corinthian team, boat number 4, is having a tough time getting in boat going. Now his sails are trying to work his way up. He's pretty deep 6 right now. His teammate, one of his teammates, in pink 5, I believe, is dead center of the course, probably number 1.
Well, they did a great job there, setting the boats really nicely. Looking into one nice winning combination. As we said, at the far side, it looks like West Kirby still holding a 2-3-4, but against two boats from Royal Thames.
Yeah, we don't know if that was a breakdown or a capsize because we didn't see it. We'll have to wait for it.
So, Royal D holding a 2-4-5. So it looks almost.
The Yale Corinthian with a 1, but yes, I think you're absolutely right. It's going to be a 1-5 and a deep 6.
Doing a lot better. You can see at the top there.
Oh, that's too bad.
So it looks like Royal D still holding empires. It's a cold day for that. But it always feels coming in a bit of sunshine. The wind feels about 5 knots less. It's always better. So just coming to the start here, the black versus white is Bristol in black versus Southampton Melbourne Square in white.
The yellow race, by the way, is not over at Mark 3. The yellow sails still have a Royal D have a 2-3-4, but that 5th place pink boat, number 5, has gotten a grip, at least gotten in touch with that yellow too.
And that's Yale. First boat's doing great job.
Sails and the pink sails at this point, but the pink sails still have a chance on this last beat.
Yeah, that first boat from Yale did a great job of holding the 3 boats. But Will D still holding a 2-3-4, very strong combination. A little bit of a gap.
And the key is how close that last yellow and that 5th place pink are to each other, and quite close. Let's see the old tacking duel. There goes the first one, boat number 5 tacks off the starboard.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, you have to hand it that Royal D.
No, we don't. What channel do they put the results?
I'm pushing 2 on 2.
2, we might listen on 2 then. Because we never know what's going on.
And as we approach the finish of the race between the yellow sails of Royal D and the pink sails of Yale Corinthian, we thought that Royal D had a solid 2-3-4 all the way up that last beat, and it looks like they did at worst. They might have had the 1 in there, but at the very worst they had a 2-3-4. They still very disciplined, very well that race. That moves them up to
1 and then 2-2.
So right now we are pre-start, about 10 seconds to go between the dark blue boats of Hope Yacht Club against the gray boats of Oxford and Cambridge Sailing Society. The dark blue boats put themselves on a spot of honor just at about 10 seconds to go. They got caught above into the barging zone, if you will, and that's why 10 had to tack away.
It makes it a bit tricky at first, because it's difficult to see what's happening there. So in the grey boats we have Oxford, and Oxford have a 2-3, can't see the last boat. 2-3-6, so it looks like a 1-4-5 for.
That'll be 13 rounds, I think. 13. Go on. 8 a.m. tomorrow. Alrighty. Bye. The only addition is that race starts again at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Housekeeping all good. The last race of the day. Deposits must be paid before the damage payments must be paid before the dinner this evening, or well, that would be greatly appreciated. So last race is 208. The first race at 8 o'clock in the morning. You now know as much as I know, which isn't that much, but certainly enough. So back to the racing. We are a little bit confused, but we have blue versus orange next, which is race number 202. So it looks like this will be the end of round 13. So 13 races sailed between yesterday and today. That's a great result. So in the blue boats, we have Manchester University, and in the orange boats we have Southampton University. So it looks good for Southampton there. We've got 3 boats away. Looks like we've got a 1-2, maybe even a 1-2-3. So looking good for Southampton there. On the race course in the red versus yellow boats, we have Atlantic Partners in the red boats versus Royal Thames in the yellow boats. Looks like Royal Thames are looking pretty good there with a 1-3, but there are only 2 red boats. There's one still on the jet. They've done a really good job there, so it looks like Southampton have got a little bit to do here. They have a 2-3, and at least a 2-3-4, 2-3-5. So they sail into a 2-3-4, a really good combination, and we'll give them another win.